Всем привет, дамы и господа, с вами Алекс Назаренко. Топ-100 величайших боевых сцен всех времен. Watch Mojo.
Welcome to
Это же знаменитый танцор балета из Бельгии.
Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most action-packed, well-choreographed, and generally badass fight scenes in movie history. Some were played for laughs, others set the standard for the time they were shot. We're skipping giant battles and gunfights that don't include substantial hand-to-hand combat.
Упомянули слово combat, today Mortal Kombat. Сюда, блядь. О, он еще прокрутился, вы видели? Пируэт.
Number 100, Kitchen Fight, Upgrade.
Я мог посмотреть, кстати, этот фильм, но когда я, короче, смотрел второго Терминатора, там был апгрейд. И я подумал, фильм идет до 4 ночи, как бы, я не посмотрю, мне там шарагу надо было.
What's worse than getting mugged and immobilized? How about waking up with experimental tech embedded into your spine that turns you into an unstoppable killing machine?
Ну, блядь, у Тома Харди уже есть такое... Было такое устройство, называлось Веном.
That's exactly what happens to Gray Trace in Upgrade.
Похуй, как его звали, это Том Харди.
Stan, what are we doing?
To Gray Trace in Upgrade.
Stan, what are we doing, man?
Just relax.
When his new AI buddy STEM takes the wheel, things
Он предсказал нейронки!
get very messy.
А этот, блядь, перевод, это тоже нейронка.
The kitchen fight is an exercise in almost robotic combat efficiency.
Oh, look, man, stay down, please. Please don't get up. Please don't get up. Please.
Gray's fight choreography gives him the vibe of a deadly marionette. His face contorts in shock and horror, a spectator to the carnage being inflicted by his own limbs. Blades fly, bones break, and he watches his own actions with complete surprise.
Блядь, там что-то показали, у меня вот тут заболело нахуй.
All right, so what's the plan? What are we doing?
Блядь, у меня такое было, короче, когда я был в летнем лагере, он находился рядом с Уфой, и там я скачал и смотрел бои хардкора. И там дрался бойец из Уфы. Когда по бойцу из Уфы попали, я почувствовал эту боль, блядь.
Number 99, Fight Analysis, Sherlock Holmes.
Ну конечно же тут будет бойцовский клуб по-любому.
Guy Ritchie's take on Sherlock Holmes isn't just a methodical cerebral detective. Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock is a physical force, dismantling his enemies with mathematical precision. In Sherlock
Надписи.
Holmes, Ritchie brings slow-motion spectacle to bare-knuckle boxing.
Discombobulate. Dazed.
Ну, кстати, в этом фильме, я насколько знаю, охуительные сцены, блядь, слоумо. Например, блядь, сцена с побега.
Will attempt wild haymaker. Employ elbow block. And body shot.
Holmes applies his deductive reasoning to the sweet science. The fight analysis scene has Holmes calmly predicting every strike before executing his attacks with ruthless efficiency. A shattered rib here, a dislocated jaw there. The fight is already over before a single punch is thrown. It is the
Блядь, даже видео замедлилось.
perfect blend of brains and brawn, proving that violence, much like detective work, can be approached with cold, calculated logic.
There we find the boxing champion of Cambridge. Competent, but predictable.
Number 98, Guy Haines versus Bruno Antony versus an out-of-control carousel, Strangers on a Train. Alfred Hitchcock may be known for various applications of his genius: psychological thrillers, horror, dark comedy. He is not known as an action director.
Нихуя себе, блядь.
But the culmination of Strangers on a Train proves he could have been. After Guy Haines meets the deranged Bruno Antony on a train, he unwittingly enters into an agreement to kill.
Swap murders.
Each fellow does the other fellow's murder, then there's nothing to connect them. Each one has murdered a total stranger. Like, you do my murder, right to yours.
Their conflict ends up on an out-of-control carousel after the ride's operator is taken out. Terrified children cling to their horses, and terrified parents cling to their kids while the carousel careens at breakneck speed.
Блять, оператор дуреет с этой хромакейной прикормки. Блять, мне так весело, я и качаю, я тут и катаюсь, и смотрю, как два мужика пиздится. Это моя каруселька, нет, моя каруселька.
With each punch, the stakes rise until an old man belly crawls under the spinning death trap to shut it
Лошадка всего одна.
down.
Это не удивился, это я зевнул.
Number 97, Ending Fight, The Man from Nowhere.
Тут будет Джеки Чан по-любому.
There is one very important lesson to glean from South Korean cinema: never give cause for revenge. The Man from Nowhere follows a former Black Ops agent on a relentless quest to save a kidnapped girl. He mows his way through gangsters and drug dealers.
Послушайте этот бит.
When he has their boss cornered, the resulting knife fight is nothing short of stunning. In the film's climactic showdown, our brooding hero faces off against a room full of gangsters. He slices through them with surgical precision, staining the immaculate marble room with bloody
Ну, блядь, что ты хотел? Он же хирург, крови будет много.
gore. The sequence ends with a ballet of death between the hero and the bad guy's top enforcer, stabbing and slashing until only one survivor remains. Number 96, The Bus
Харакири.
Fight, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. If you thought Rush Hour was stressful, try fighting an entire gang on a speeding bus.
Да похуй на твой MacBook.
Sorry.
Возьми подарок. Да, это ноутбук, я думал, книга.
Sorry.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was easily among the most well-received MCU entries post-Endgame. The kung fu homage to speed makes it easy to understand why. When Sean, aka
Обычно у Marvel бывают проблемы. Проблемы с графикой, проблемы с маркетингом, с фильмами проблемы, но, блядь, хорошо, что у них не было в фильме, где, блядь, есть у нас герой азиат, не было проблем с кунг-фу. Как бы это фильм про восточного героя, а на Востоке, блядь, Восток придумал боевые искусства.
Shang-Chi finds himself ambushed by a razor-armed assassin and his henchmen, his years of training kick in. He doesn't just hold his own, he destroys them.
Минус один. Минус два. Минус второй.
Flipping over seats, dodging punches, and turning the cramped space into his personal dojo,
Я бы эту поездку на метро запомнил надолго, блядь.
Shang-Chi channels Jackie Chan's slapstick combat energy. As the bus careens out of control, the fight escalates, culminating in a jaw-dropping escape.
Иди работать на стройку!
Number 95, Barroom Brawl, Dodge City. Before Hollywood perfected
39-й, блядь.
the barroom brawl, Dodge City set the gold standard. The film spends most of its runtime as a cookie-cutter classic Hollywood Western. All of a
Обычно в вестернах стреляют, а не дерутся.
sudden, it features a saloon fight so chaotic it feels like a cartoon adapted to
Бля, я хочу, чтобы он снял эту шляпу и запустил в кого-нибудь.
live action.
А эта шляпа-то бензопила, блядь. Не, дисковая пила. Ну чё нахуй, кто хочет почувствовать ярость моей шляпки? Называйте меня Кун. Кун Лао.
Errol Flynn, playing lawman Wade Hatton, throws himself into a spiraling beer-soaked brawl. Chairs shatter, fists fly, and bodies crash through waiting tables. The sequence escalates into pure mayhem, with half the
И только этот чел нашел себе оправдание, чтобы не драться. Он играет на гармошке.
saloon involved in the fight whether they want to or not.
Чел просто несля ему, блядь, прилетело.
What
Блядь, все становится... Здравствуйте, ребятки!
makes it legendary? The sheer scale.
Охуительные масштабы, блядь.
By its end, the fight seems to involve an entire town throwing down in glorious stunt-packed fashion.
Женщины, дети, люди. Удушка.
Number 94, The Operator versus Elena and Alma. The Night Comes for Us. If you thought the Raid movie set the bar for bone-crunching action, The Night
Я слушал охуительный боевик.
Comes for Us smashes that bar to pieces. One of its most jaw-dropping fights sees the Operator take on the deadly duo of Elena and Alma. The three master fighters square off in a small, blood-drenched apartment.
Еще, блядь, музыку разъебную на фон поставили.
It's a
Вау! Это запрещенный прием, удар по сиськам.
whirlwind of knives, garrots, and sheer desperation. It's hard not to stare in stunned knives, garrots, and sheer desperation.
Отчаяние отправить ее за балкон.
It's hard not to stare in stunned admiration as three of the deadliest women in action cinema try to carve each other into pieces.
Как эти охуенно сочетаются с музыкой.
The brutality is relentless. The sheer speed of the choreography leaves no room to breathe. This isn't just a great fight scene. It is a feral, no-holds-barred survival match that turns the screen into a symphony of violence.
Никогда недооценивай пилочку-веревочку.
Number 93.
О, все, блядь.
Walker versus Nightclub Goon.
Я думаю, тут будет, бля... Так, я думаю, тут еще будет какая-нибудь сцена из Джона Уика.
Point blank. Lee Marvin doesn't need
Слово... Я увидел букву W и подумал про Джона Уика.
fancy choreography or Walker versus Nightclub Goons. Point blank. Lee Marvin doesn't need fancy choreography or wire work to make a fight scene unforgettable. His sheer screen presence was enough to make it seem like his characters punched like a wrecking ball.
Where's Chris? She runs a club. A place called the Movie House.
In Point Blank, he stars as Walker, a man on a relentless quest for revenge. He doesn't have time to waste on flashy moves, which he proves when confronted by a band of assailants in a nightclub. He dismantles them one by one with sheer brute force. His surroundings, from walls to furniture, all become weapons as he takes his enemies down with methodical precision. There's no flashy music, no exaggerated reaction shots, just unfiltered violence that feels more real than anything else Hollywood was doing
Я думаю, в 70-х это зрители оценили. И сейчас бы оценили.
at the time.
Крик Вильгельма, знаете?
Number 92, Scott Pilgrim versus Gideon Graves. Scott Pilgrim versus the world. Scott Pilgrim finds himself
Скотт Пилгрим.
in a state of perpetual combat, contending with the superpowered exes of his new love interest, Ramona.
Да, вот потому что он дерется с бывшими, это я знаю благодаря поп-культу. Ну это еще кто-то сделал ставку про то, что по сиськам бьешь, извращенец. Это вроде отсюда. Этот фильм порвал Голливуд.
He defeats them one by one before confronting their leader, the katana-wielding hipster villain Gideon Graves. He battles Gideon in a neon-drenched brawl, armed with the flame Gideon Graves. He battles Gideon in a
Мне показалось, что она тоже встала. А зачем она встала?
neon-drenched brawl, armed with the flaming sword of love.
А будет сцена из фильма «Главный герой»?
Scott unleashes a flurry of stylish over-the-top attacks that feel ripped straight from a video game.
Ну, блять, это же Скотт Пилигрим.
But the real twist? Scott's most recent ex, Knives Chow, jumps in for an unexpected assist.
Knives?
She teaches Scott that his journey wasn't just about Ramona, but about learning to be a better
Ради меня, ёб твою мать!
person. Packed with Edgar Wright's signature visual flair, pixelated explosions, and a healthy dose of
Хочешь узнать, откуда эти шрамы?
absurdity, the fight wraps up a truly madcap action adventure.
Pixelity!
Number 91, The Price is Wrong, Happy Gilmore. What's better than Adam Sandler getting into a fistfight?
Ну, бля, я думаю, всем фанатам Адама Сэндлера понравилось, как его нахлобучивают.
Adam Sandler getting absolutely wrecked by Bob Barker. Sandler's rage-fueled hockey player turned golfer teams up with the legendary Price is Right host for a celebrity tournament.
There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf.
All right, let's go.
Ну пошли нахуй, бля. Это по хоккейному.
You like that, old man?
After some bad shots and pointed barbs, the two throw down in one of the most unexpectedly hilarious fistfights in movie history.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Я только за эту фразу готов поставить лайк.
Happy lands a few solid hits, but Happy's prize is catching Bob's hands. He delivers one last insult before laying out Happy for good.
Now
KO!
you've had enough. Bitch.
Who knew that lifting a skinny microphone all morning was such a great workout? Number 90, Massage Parlor Fight, Rush Hour 2.
А вот и фильм Джеки Чаном.
Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan walk into a massage parlor. As it turns out, that's both the setup for a joke and a classic buddy cop fight scene. When Carter and Lee stumble into an ambush, they find themselves surrounded. There's no armor, no leather, no fancy suits. These bad
Есть модные халатики.
guys are all wearing plush robes. The ensuing
Ну,
fight
кроме Криса Такера, конечно же.
is a classic of the Jackie
Ну,
Chan
он
style.
Он настолько крутой нигер, что, блядь, может не носить халат. Ебать, он кувыркается.
Improvisational genius, acrobatics, and lightning-fast counters. Tucker, meanwhile, scrambles to keep up, throwing in his signature comedic one-liners.
Блядь!
Sorry, man. Oh, y'all look alike.
The scene perfectly
Блядь, ну... Этот фильм сейчас бы не одобрили.
balances martial arts mastery with laugh-out-loud
Ну, блядь, конечно, долбоёб, у него халат вообще лиловый.
moments as the pair dodge half-naked men and whipped towels alike.
Коробочка!
Number 89, The Killer versus the Brute, The Killer.
Кирблюд! Да, Netflix. Впервые у нас тут Netflix.
Number 88, Private Stanley Mellish versus Nameless German Soldier, Saving Private Ryan.
Ты не заслуживаешь, чтобы твое имя произносили.
Number
Это что за звуки голума?
87, Father versus Cleric, Equilibrium.
Блять, как он хорош.
Number 86, Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, Mortal Kombat. Number 85, Chaney vs. Street, Hard Times. No gloves, no rules, just pure, unfiltered grit and paying up when one guy hits the mat for good. In Hard Times, an absolutely jacked Charles Bronson stars as Chaney, a drifter
О, блядь, ну... Типа Чарльза Бронсона ни у кого нет шансов.
who punches his way through the underground fighting circuit of Depression-era America.
Все спят... Блядь, в 70-х умели делать разъебные драчки.
His biggest
Нокаут!
test? A brutal showdown against the equally tough Street,
Он даже назвал себя в честь улицы.
a ringer brought in from Chicago to take Chaney down.
Какой-то слишком, блядь, маленький состав зрителей для такого боя.
Set in a dingy warehouse, the fight is raw, quiet, and completely unforgiving. Every punch lands like a sledgehammer, and neither fighter is willing to go down easy. It's not just a fight, but a war of bruising attrition. Just a fight, but a war of bruising attrition.
Война на истощение, впервые такое слышу. Прикольно, бля, прикольное словосочетание. Добивай! Да, блядь.
Number 84, Kay vs. Rick Deckard, Blade Runner 2049.
Где вы еще видите, как Кен Гослинг пиздится с Ханом Соло?
Look, I don't want to hurt you, but you're not making it easy.
I just can't.
Number 83, V vs. Police, V for Vendetta.
Этот фильм подарил нам анонимусов.
Number 82, Huo Yuanjia vs. Chen, Fearless.
Готов поспорить, они дрались по-настоящему. И тут не использована графика.
Number 81, Ash vs. His Hand, Evil Dead 2.
Самая необычная схватка пока.
Number 80, Fight for the Key, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. What's better than a sword fight? A three-way sword fight on a giant
Да.
rolling wheel. In Dead Man's Chest, Jack Sparrow will
Короче, я эту схватку увидел впервые, когда посмотрел недавно, год назад, короче, обзор ностальгирующего критика на эту часть.
Turner and James Norrington battle for possession of the key to Davy Jones's heart. What starts as a traditional duel quickly spirals into chaos. Each of the three wants the key for himself, leading to a whirlwind of slashing, parrying, and flipping. The fight traverses beaches, jungle, stone ruins, and finally onto a massive runaway water wheel. Meanwhile, Pintel and Righetti hilariously bumble through their own fight with Elizabeth Swann. The sequence is fast, inventive, and loaded with swashbuckling
Ну и фирменная деповская ходьба.
Fight with Elizabeth Swann. The sequence is fast, inventive, and loaded with swashbuckling spectacle.
Чу, я тоже такой чу.
It's peak Pirates of the Caribbean, over the top, well choreographed, and incredibly fun.
Я больше в этой хуйне участвовать не буду.
Number 79.
Да я лучше на засанной кровати посплю, блядь.
Max vs. Furiosa, Mad Max Fury Road.
И, кстати, эта драка могла быть и по-настоящему, потому что не заладились отношения у главных актеров.
Number 78, The final fight. Yes, madam.
Ну какая же драка без разбитого стекла?
Number 77. Diner Fight. A History of Violence.
При съемке данной сцены пострадало дохуя кружек. И стекла тоже.
Number 76. Dalton vs. Jimmy. Roadhouse.
Зачем?
Number 75. The Tramp vs. Prizefighter. City Lights. Silent films weren't exactly known for their epic fight sequences. After all, what impact has a punch to the face without an audibly satisfying crunch? Charlie Chaplin changed that in one of the earliest and most brilliant examples of using fight scenes for laughs. In City Lights, Chaplin's famous tramp finds himself in the ring, squared off against a towering prizefighter. Rather than trading blows, the tramp turns the match into a slapstick dance-off. He dances behind the ref, ducks around his opponent, and dodges blows to comedically timed perfection. It's less a fight and more a choreographed comedy routine, proving that action and humor could go hand in hand.
Конечно.
And
не зря существуют комедийные боевики. Блять.
Number 74, King Arthur vs. Mordred, Excalibur.
Недолгая драка была. Шашлычок.
Number 73, Bus Station Brawl, The Transporter.
Иди нахуй, я не хочу с тобой драться.
Number 72.
Самая гибкая обезьяна в этом автобусе.
Dutch vs. Predator. Predator.
Bad idea.
Драться с хищником.
Number 71. Bamboo Forest Fight. House of Flying Daggers.
Блять, даже название у фильма крутое. Ну, короче, все отшлепаны.
Number 70. 20-minute action shot. Extraction 2. If you thought Extraction pushed the limits of non-stop single-take action, its sequel practically dares you to catch your breath. The first film's one-shot sequence was undeniably impressive, but Extraction 2 cranks up the violence in a relentless 20-plus minute prison break that turns into an all-out war. Chris Hemsworth's Tyler Rake fights off waves of enemies with everything from his fists to a flaming riot shield.
Блять, он нахуй зажегся, он это использует как, блять, оружие, ёпта. Он, короче, отжег на этой пати.
Seamless camera work drags you bodily through the carnage, feeling as if you yourself are dodging bullets, fists, and flying vehicles. The frenetic pace lets you feel every blow to Rake's body.
О, у него тут свой Мьёльнир есть.
Number 68, Duel at the Gates of Hell, The Northman. Number 67, Basement Fight.
Дамы и господа, Джаред Лето.
Fight Club.
Любимая роль ностальгирующего критика у Джареда Лето. Парень, которого просто избивают в бойцовском клубе.
Number 66, Dominic Toretto versus Luke Hobbs, Fast 5.
You're going down, Toretto. I'm right here.
Ну чё, блядь, давай нахуй подпиздим за Твиттер.
Number 65, Boss Fight, Kung Fu Hustle. If Looney Tunes and Enter the Dragon had a baby, it'd look a lot like Kung Fu Hustle. The film's first epic fight takes place as the Axe Gang invades a slum.
А музыка-то какая? Блять, почему они не сняли цилиндры?
A trio of unassuming slum residents reveal themselves as legendary kung fu masters, serving up gravity-defying beatdowns. But that's just the warm-up. When Stephen Chow's lovable loser gets in touch
Стивен, чё?
with his inner, more enlightened self, it gets real fast.
Хуякс! 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 Чье боев сорвать?
He fights the Beast, a seemingly unbeatable criminal kung fu master. What begins as a brutal brawl escalates into
Меня нагнули раком.
a mythic showdown, complete with earth-shattering punches and
Бля, еще поваляли в земле.
literal Buddha palm attacks.
Только не метеорит. Только не метеоризм.
It's
Он выполнил задание на 5 с плюсом.
silly, over the top, and still one of the most spectacular boss fights ever put to film. Number 64, Tommy Reardon versus Brendan Conlon, Warrior.
Блять, музон снова охуенно сочетается с ударами.
Number 63, Jaka versus Mad Dog, The Raid.
А вы тоже, когда деретесь, не дай бог, конечно, но кричите.
Number 62, Front Lawn Fight, Lethal Weapon.
Everyone back!
Блять, не видно.
Number 6.
Гафер, чё за хуйня? Почему так много света?
61, Bone versus Price, Blood and Bone.
Нам дали насладиться музыкой из ударов.
Number 60, Coffee Coffin versus The Girls.
Ну чё нахуй? Мясоед, сожри капусту!
Coffee. Pam Grier didn't just star in the 1970s classic Coffee. She completely redefined what an action heroine could be. She plays the titular Coffee, a nurse turned vigilante taking on drug dealers and corrupt officials. A nurse turned vigilante taking on drug dealers and corrupt officials.
Бля, я выгляжу как рестлер, но я не дерусь.
Grier is furious, fearless, and completely
Ненавижу гуакамоле!
unstoppable. Nowhere is this more obvious than in a scene where she crashes a party full of shady characters.
Баб! Вечеринка полная сомнительных баб.
She quickly gets into a full-blown, no-holds-barred brawl with a gang of women. Hair gets ripped,
Woman gang.
clothes get torn, and Grier fights with pure, unadulterated
Блять, я рестлер, я выгляжу как рестлер, но я не буду драться.
rage. It is chaotic, savage, and a defining moment in blaxploitation cinema. You don't mess
Чё за бэксплойтейшн?
with coffee. If you do, get ready to lose.
Сейчас она засудит ей этот горшок в жопу. Давай. Я хочу посмотреть, как она орет. Ну, она поорала.
59. Batman vs. Bane.
И снова у нас Том Харди.
Dark Knight Rises.
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
Где детонатор? Мне нравится, что женщина-кошка просто стоит. Подколол его.
Number 58. Apollo
Своими козлиными рожками.
Creed vs. Rocky Balboa. Rocky. Number 58. Apollo Creed vs. Rocky Balboa. Rocky.
Yeah. Он хочет уйти в клинч, но... Так, блять, и режиссер говорит, большие пизделки.
Number 57. Ting vs. The Fight Club. Ong Bak, Muay Thai Warrior. Number 56.
Блять, это был разъеб просто. Это... Блять, музло разъеб просто, блять.
Sean Thornton vs. Squire Danaher, The Quiet Man.
Молчаливый человек ничего не может делать, кроме как орудовать своими кулаками. Ладно, я просто хотел спиздануть эпичную фразу. Вода! Ребята! Это вода!
Number 55. The News Team Brawl. Anchorman.
Я только вчера у меня... Я только, кстати, вчера вспомнил, как я смотрел топ Watch Watch с Камео, и там был как раз вот этот момент, там был Джим Керри.
The Legend of Ron Burgundy. It starts with some mild workplace rivalry. It ends with bloody anarchy. When Ron Burgundy and his Channel 4 news team cross...
Интересный факт. А если в новом сериале с Алексеем... Блядь. А если в новом сериале с Алексеем, блядь, Воробьевым? С Тодом, блядь, Лебедом?
Paths with their competitors, they exchange wicked barbs and burns.
You want to dance, Ron? I want a polka.
The war of words escalates into a straight-up battle to the death. What begins as a ridiculous standoff in an alley quickly spirals into a full-blown medieval-style war. Each rival station ups the ante with horses and machetes.
Ебать, тут весело.
Newsmen from different stations whack each other with clubs and other improvised weapons. Brick even impales a man with a trident. It's the most
Ёб твою мать.
completely unnecessary fight in film history. And that is exactly why we love it.
Now I'll be number one. No, you won't!
Классный эффект ударов. О, привет, Бен Стиллер. Полиция!
Number 54. Mickey swimming in pain. Snatch.
Таких звуков в драке я еще не слышал. Ебать летит. Хорошо летит.
Number 53. The T-800 versus the T-1000. Terminator 2.
О, да. Это первый фильм, который я смотрел. Недавно, кстати, посмотрел.
Judgment Day.
Охуительный фильм.
Number 50.
Арнольд даже падает круто.
52. Daniel LaRusso versus Johnny Lawrence. The Karate Kid.
Finish him!
давай, финиши.
Number 51, Trial by Combat, The Last Duel.
Охуительно.
Number 50, Bruce Lee's Dojo Destruction, Fist of Fury.
Ну, конечно, куда же бы без Брюса Ли, светлая ему память.
Some people settle disputes with words. Bruce Lee settles them by single-handedly destroying an entire dojo. In Fist of Fury, Lee's Chen Zhen storms into a rival Japanese martial arts school. There, he takes out dozens of...
Бля, это же... Получается, ты чё, в «Трех богатырях» и «Шамаханской царице» была отсылка на это?
Opponents with speed and alacrity. It's a devastatingly efficient takedown, capped off with Lee using his iconic nunchaku. Almost 20 years later,
Sigma boy.
martial arts legend Jet Li remade the film into Fist of Legend. He paid tribute to Bruce with an equally brutal dojo fight between Gen and Japanese General Fujita. Even with modern choreography, nothing quite matches the raw power and intensity of Bruce Lee on a mission for vengeance.
Кстати, как звали сына Брюса Ли? Брэндон, точно.
Number 49, The Warriors versus the Baseball Furies, The Warriors.
Блять, какая же охуительная музыка во время драчек.
Number 48, Wayman's Fanny Pack versus
Все везде и сразу.
Security Guards. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Блять, по-английски, конечно, это звучит пизже. Этот фильм настолько крут... Блять. Этот фильм настолько крутой, что у него крутые драки, и он, блядь, что добавляет ему крутости. И, блядь, они не зря же Оскар получили.
Number 47, Train Carriage Fight, From Russia with Love.
Hi.
Number 46, The Bride versus Elle Driver, Kill Bill Volume 2. Number 45, Jake LaMotta versus Sugar Ray Robinson, Raging Bull. In the ring, Jake LaMotta never went down, but staying up doesn't mean you didn't get beat. In Raging Bull, Martin Scorsese recreates LaMotta's epic bout against Sugar Ray Robinson. It was one of the most brutal, artfully shot boxing sequences in cinema history.
Robinson hurting LaMotta. He's hurting him now.
Блять, мне не привиделось. Обижает, ёпта. Охуеть. Вот это, конечно... Это вообще слово мягко сказано, блять.
Robinson hurting LaMotta. He's hurting him now. He has LaMotta on Greer Street, holding on.
The slow motion sequence lets the audience feel on a visceral level just how much punishment the real-life fighter endured. During the beating, LaMotta becomes a bloody, swollen mess. The sound design makes every hit feel like a cannon blast.
Robinson, apparently tired, punched with a fairly well and rocked Jake LaMotta right to the heel.
By the time Robinson delivers the final merciless flurry,
Когда камера отдаляется, мы сразу понимаем. Его сопернику пизда.
LaMotta is barely standing. It's not just a fight. It's a grueling testament to self-destruction, pride, and punishment. Number 44, Robin Hood vs. Guy of Gisborne, The Adventures of Robin Hood.
Did I upset your plans? You've come to Nottingham once too often. When this is over, my friend, there'll be no need for me to come again.
Потому что ты сдохнешь. Ну ты дебил, блядь.
Number 43,
Дебил.
Rama and Andy vs. Mad Dog, The Raid. Number 42, Nightcrawler vs. the White House, X2.
С тенью, затем с дымом, исчезновением. Это драка в 2 раза круче.
Number 41, The Kumite, Bloodsport.
У него хорошая растяжка. Ведь, блядь, как я знаю роликов Грин Грейса, это, ёпта, бывший балерун.
Number 40, Paul Muad'Dib vs. Fade Rotha Hark.
Да, драка лысого шамана. Я русский! Это его прозвище. Была охуе... Блядь, лысый шаман. Мой любимый персонаж во второй Дюне.
Dune Part 2. The epic saga of Paul Atreides comes to a crescendo in a duel.
Кстати, это второй фильм, который я смотрел из этого списка. Вот совпадение. Король совпадений, мать его.
To literally reshape the universe. Paul Atreides, now entrenched with the Fremen, had honed his combat skills through years of training and fighting for his life.
Тимоти Шаламе учили драться. Учили не расстраиваться, если не получил Оскар. Учили готовиться к неожиданному поцелую от, ёб твою мать, Адама Седлера.
He had to kill a potential ally Jamis to become a desert warrior.
Кстати, это был финал. Ну, блядь, спойлер. Похуй. Это было, кстати... Блядь, ради этой драки стоит досмотреть фильм до конца. Но эта драка происходила ближе к концу. И он падает.
But his opponent, Fade Rotha Harkonnen, was more than prepared.
Он ашаманин. Он, блядь, шаман, он владеет магией. Он, блядь, орёт: «Я русский!»
Cunning and ruthless heir of House Harkonnen honed his blade on the white sands of his homeworld's fighting arena. Their duel is more than a personal vendetta. It is a decisive battle for the future of Arrakis and its invaluable spice.
О, да, это самая лучшая мотивация — битва за спайс.
Their fight is quick and quiet. No frills.
Да не такой уж и тихий.
Just two expert knife fighters
Блять, если ты это смотришь в кинотеатре, он нихуя не тихий, этот бой.
struggling to kill and survive.
Но в конечном итоге зло проигрывает, а побеждает добро. Слава Украине. Шаман проиграл. Ему не разрешили патентовать водку «Я русский».
Number 39.
Блять, это он воткнул нож в Шаламе. Да похуй, он все равно его потом победит.
Creepy bedroom fight. Haywire.
Это была очень дорогая сцена.
Number 38.
Нахуя ты разбила дорогую посуду, сука?
Airstrip fight. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
А смерть-то какая крутая. Давай его сюда. Я, кстати, играл в игру про Индиану Джонса до этой штуки.
Number 37. Ip Man vs.
Какая-то приземленная драка.
Hong Chun Nam. Ip Man 2. Number 36, Sharks vs. Jets Rumble, West Side Story.
Охуительная балетная школа. Ну-ка, блядь, все приняли позицию. Я тоже умею танцевать.
Number 35.
Мусорское фуите.
Ellen Ripley versus Xenomorph Queen, Aliens. When Ellen Ripley throws down, xenomorphs die. After surviving a nightmarish hive, rescuing Newt, and escaping an apocalyptic explosion, Ripley is exhausted. Sadly, she has no choice but to initiate a showdown with the horrifying Xenomorph Queen.
Xenomorph. Come on! Xenomorph звучит круче, поэтому... Ну, Зина звучит как-то не очень. У нас бы не приняли это без улыбки. Она взяла ее на удушающий.
A seasoned alien killer by this point, Ripley is ready to rumble. Armed with a power loader, a walking industrial exosuit, she goes toe-to-claw with the Queen in a fight for survival.
Let's go ready to rumble!
The battle is brutal, mechanical limbs smashing and locking as Ripley desperately maneuvers the Queen toward the airlock.
Отправился в шлюха.
With one final triumphant line, she blasts the alien menace into space. It's the ultimate mic drop moment, cementing Ripley's legacy as one of sci-fi's greatest action heroes. Number 34, Lee vs. O'Hara, Enter the Dragon.
Если бы он не прокричал, этот удар был бы хуйней.
Number 33, Nameless vs. Long Sky, Hero. Number 32, Bathroom Fight, The Bourne Ultimatum.
Born in Tomatum. Рожденный томатом.
Number 31, Kyuzo vs. Challengers, Seven Samurai.
Так, сейчас, секундочку. Еще один охуительный крикун. И все?
Challengers, Seven Samurai. Number 30, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The Guardians of the Galaxy are an argumentative bunch, but when they do work together, there is little that can stand in their
Ну и у них, блядь, с дракой проблем быть не может. У них, блядь, Батиста в команде.
way. When the group attacks the lab of the High Evolutionary to rescue his test subjects, they have to make their way through a hallway full of his guards and mutated cyborg Hellspawn. Each of the Guardians gets their own chance to shine in this fight, which is delivered in one continuous shot and set to the dulcet tones of the Beastie Boys. Groot does some deadly growing, Nebula doesn't let her head nearly getting knocked off stop her, and Drax even does his actor's signature Batista bomb. It's a phenomenally executed sequence that feels right out of a comic book.
Did that look cool?
Number 29.
Эта драка выглядела круто.
Did that look cool?
Number 29. Jackie Chan versus Benny the Jet Urquidez.
Как-то, блядь, мало Джеки Чана, что-то.
Wheels on Meals. In this film, Jackie Chan plays Thomas, who infiltrates a castle and is faced with a nameless goon played by Benny the Jet Urquidez.
呢條友好勁啊！唔使緊張，將自己放鬆，
The latter may be playing a man with no name, but his fighting skills need no introduction. The two master martial artists go at it with a flurry of punches as well as high and low kicks. Chan's character gets the worst of it, at least until he lightens up and starts incorporating more unorthodox moves into his routine like tickling. He ultimately sends his foe out the window with a flying knee, only to pull him back in with the promise of another round.
Мне было мало. Да пошел ты нахуй. Хуяк. Вот это был бы твист.
And yes, Chen and Yorquides did indeed have a rematch.
Это что за русский акцент?
And yes, Chen and Yorquides did indeed have a rematch. Number 28. Bus fight. Nobody. Hutch Mansell is a retired assassin itching for some action, and he gets it right. Nobody. Hutch Mansell is a retired assassin.
Как его там звали? Hutch Mansell.
Number 28. Bus fight. Nobody. Hutch Mansell is a retired assassin itching for some action, and he gets it when a rowdy group of gangsters boards his bus.
They say God doesn't close one door without opening another. Please, God, open that door.
He decides to vent by beating the crap out of them. It's not all smooth sailing, as Hutch takes plenty of hits and several stabs himself. But the ex-killer's incredible persistence scares even the gangsters. He uses everything from his watch to a passenger's purse to bits of the bus to ensure his opponents will be enjoying hospital food for a long time. Actor Bob Odenkirk is not the typical action hero, which, along with its realistic stakes, helps make this fight so amazing.
Run!
Thank you.
Number 27. Donnie Yen vs. Wu Jing. SPL, Sha Po Long. The penultimate fight of this Hong Kong crime action film sees Donnie Yen's Inspector Ma Quan pitted against Wu Jing's Jack, a knife-wielding assassin in an alleyway. The sequel, in name only SPL 2, sees a fun twist with Wu Jing in the heroic role. Alleyway. The sequel, in name against Wu Jing's Jack, a knife-wielding
Вот этот сюжетный поворот Сверда решила Алишера наоборот.
Fun twist with Wu Jing in the heroic role.
Здорово, ёпта.
And while that is a nice tribute, there's no beating the original. The two combatants attack one another in a series of lightning-fast exchanges that leave them both coming away bloody. Not only is the speed of the fight jaw-dropping, behind-the-scenes features reveal that it's essentially all
Охуеть.
improvised. It's just two great fighters going at it until the director yelled cut.
Okay. Wait.
Number 26. Dread Pirate Roberts vs. Inigo Montoya, The Princess Bride. One of the all-time great
А еще один фильм, который... не. Это еще один фильм, который видел ностальгирующего критика в обзоре. Еще один. Какой тут был? Короче, я этот фильм видел в обзоре ностальгирующего критика.
Gentlemanly Duels. This clifftop sword fight is a fencing masterclass.
You are wonderful. Thank you. I've worked hard to become so. I admitted you are better than I am. Then why are you smiling? Because I know something you don't know.
Inigo Montoya fights the Dread Pirate Roberts with the goal of preventing his pursuit of the princess.
Да, Пират Карибского моря, точно. Я вас понял.
They've rightfully stolen. The two men range all over the rocky terrain, with their witty remarks being as sharp as their swords.
You must expect me to attack with capafera.
Потому что они приколисты.
Naturally, but I find that Tibble cancels out capafera.
Swords.
You must expect me to attack with capafera. Naturally, but I find that Tibble cancels out capafera. Don't you?
Мне нравится его речь. И интонация.
But I find that Tibble cancels out capafera. Don't you?
Рот закрой, а то муха залетит.
Unless the enemy has a study, he's a glipper.
Спать ты нахуй.
Which I have.
They both fight using their right and left hands, utilize a variety of fencing styles, and even do some cool flips. With actors Carrie Elwes and Mandy Patinkin performing most of the stunts themselves, and legendary choreographers Bob Anderson and Peter Diamond lending their expertise, it's as exciting and enchanting of a fairy tale duel as we could wish.
Please understand, I hold you in the highest respect.
Number 25.
Сдохни.
Mall Fight, Police Story. Perhaps the most
Oh yeah. Я знаю, что там был... Есть крутой момент, где Джеки Чан, блядь, спускается, блядь, по гирлянде, нахуй.
Explosive of Jackie Chan's on-screen fights. This brawl sees the martial artists Sergeant Shan Kakui attempt to protect a valuable witness and her data at a mall. However, the ensuing fight against goons demolishes much of the store and shatters what feels like more glass than every opera singer in history. The stunts, particularly the famous light fixture slide by Chan, are all incredible and bone-breakingly authentic.
Как же ему было, блядь, не сладко.
Meanwhile, the choreography is fast-paced and makes use of store displays, coat hangers, and even a motorcycle.
Блядь, мне кажется, владелец торгового центра, короче, сказал: да мне похуй, если тут будет сниматься Джеки Чан, пусть разъебет мой торговый центр нахуй.
Jackie Chan goes full Jackie Chan with this fight, delivering just pure action brilliance.
放下利器，这儿的事交给我们了，将军，这是我跟他的事，不要一起。
Отдайте мне Барби, иначе я порежу его горло.
是这种人有法律制
Ты сначала должен заплатить за этих Барби.
裁他的法律。
Иди нахуй, я не хочу платить за этих Барби.
法律是制裁没有钱请律师的人，不能制裁他。
Number 24.
Иди сюда, Барби, или ему пизда.
Hector vs. Achilles, Troy. It may be set in an epic mythic war film, but this duel is intensely personal.
I thought it was you I was fighting yesterday. And I wish it had been you. But I gave the dead boy the honor he deserved.
Gave him the honor of your...
And I wish it had been you. But I gave the dead boy the honor he deserved.
Gave him the honor of your sword.
After Hector kills Patroclus, Achilles' cousin, mistakenly believing him to be Achilles, the two engage in a one-on-one fight outside the walls of Troy. The choreography of the duel tells a story and gives greater insight into both characters. Hector is a skilled and traditional fighter, while Achilles favors unconventional tactics. Their match utilizes spears and shields before transitioning to swords and shields, and then swords alone. Ultimately, though, Achilles' greater skill and endurance prevail, and he badly injures Hector before delivering the final blow. It is a magnificent and often underrated fight that even someone as arrogant as Achilles has to catch his breath afterwards.
I have endured what no one on earth has endured before. I kiss the hands of the man who killed my son.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Number 23, Ram vs. Beam, Triple R. This epic Indian action movie's fights all go for broke. While the final fight in the forest was also a contender, we had to highlight the long-building confrontation between its two protagonists, Komaram Beam and Alluri Sitaram Raju.
What are you on to Raju?
Matal to chappanattar. Longipo. Longipo. Longipo.
The two friends who are each on opposite sides are forced into conflict when Beam's dramatic rescue attempt at the governor's palace causes chaos. The emotions are at their peak throughout the fight, but so is everything else. Music, choreography, and spectacle. Every punch and grapple hits hard, and both friends' near superhuman strength is on display with fountains getting wrecked and a tiger meeting the blow of a fiery brazier. The battle has a mythic quality that's rare, and it's absolutely glorious.
Ах ты ж, блядь. Ах ты ж, блядь, 2. Кстати, есть охуительный тайминг у Хесуса. Мой любимый стример Хесус. Простите, тут не видно Лёху.
Поздра, пожалуйста, Анастасию С.Е. 19 днем рождения, заранее спасибо.
Это был разъеб.
Number 22, Rooftop Fight. Who am I? A spy with amnesia, who may or may not be Jackie Chan himself, is confronted by two henchmen on a rooftop in pursuit of a disc.
You got two choices. He lost the disc, jump off.
On number 2, we take the disc and throw you off.
He fights the first, played by Kwon Young, who primarily uses his fists. Jackie then moves on to the second, played by Ron Smorenberg, who specializes in kicks. Then both goons take him on at the same time, with their fight sprawling all across the entire rooftop. In the end, Jackie is fighting so hard that the other two just throw in the towel altogether. It's a magnificent brawl, utilizing the environment, the combatants' clothing, a little humor, a ton of grounded yet skilled moves, and some hair-raising stunts. Number 21, Glasses Fight. They Live. Ironically, sometimes a fight is spectacular because it lacks spectacle. Protagonist Nada tries to convince his friend Frank that aliens are among us by putting on special sunglasses.
I'm giving you a choice. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
When Frank refuses, the two of them come to blows. What follows is a long, drawn-out street brawl between two buddies. There's fisticuffs and wrestling moves, but...
Ну потому что, блядь, его играет рестлер. Я, кстати, узнал на днях, что его играет рестлер. Смотрите мою реакцию на топ Watch лучших рестлерских актерских работ.
As it goes on, things get personal, with biting and attacks to the groin. It truly feels like one of the most authentic and realistic fights ever put on film. And that's partly because actors Roddy Piper and Keith David were sometimes really hitting each other. Now that's dedication.
Take a look. Put them on.
Number 20, Captain America and the Winter Soldier versus Iron Man, Captain America Civil War. Captain America and the Winter Soldier have been involved in some of the MCU's most thrilling fight sequences. However, it's this one where they fight side by side that really gets us going. After Tony Stark learns that a brainwashed Bucky killed his parents and that Cap knew about it, he's out for blood. What follows is a brutal smackdown that trumps all previous hero-on-hero action. Ultimately, Cap is able to incapacitate Tony, but at great cost to the Avengers dynamic.
He's my friend. So was I.
Kudos to Marvel for being able to make fan-favorite Iron Man come across as an imposing third-act villain. Number 19.
Ну, они и сейчас сделали. Он будет играть Доктора Дума. О, это я смотрел.
Train Fight. Spider-Man 2. Keeping this superhero train rolling a little longer, our next entry takes us to Spider-Man's confrontation with Dr. Octopus after he kidnaps Mary Jane.
Where is she? Oh, she'll be just fine. Let's talk.
They soon find themselves atop an above-ground commuter train where the stakes are raised tenfold. With both wall-crawling adversaries able to explore the space in its entirety, director Sam Raimi and company orchestrate an exhilarating fight sequence that sees Spider-Man endure heaps of punishment from Ock's mechanical arms. In a cheap tactic, Ock disables the train's brakes and forces Spidey to wear himself out stopping it.
И поорать Тобику.
Spider-Man may end up kidnapped himself, but not before he proved his heroism to the people of New York.
New York City boy, you'll never have a born day. Охуенная песня Pet Shop Boys.
Number 18, Bathhouse Fight, Eastern Promises. We realize we can't show all of this outstanding fight due to nudity, but we'd be remiss not to recognize its excellence.
He's in there. Tom, you will see the stars.
On Zack.
There, on his chest.
When Nikolai is set up by his own organization to
А это я думаю, почему драка в бане?
satisfy a rival mafia, two assassins approach him in a bathhouse armed with knives.
Как у них называется баня?
Fight. His heroism to the people of New York. Number 18, Bathhouse Fight.
Bathhouse.
Fortunately, Nikolai repels their attack and absolutely refuses to be taken out. Unafraid to get down and dirty, he soon becomes the most dangerous man in the room as he scratches and claws to wrestle their weapons away. Forcing one assassin's head down on his knife and stabbing the other's eye out, Nikolai walks away thoroughly bloody. In retrospect, they probably should have just walked up and shot him, but we're sure glad they didn't.
The Russian desk at Scotland Yard have made an official request to the Russian embassy that your undercover operation in London be terminated.
Вы, блядь, устроили кровавую баню.
Number 17, Staircase Fight, Atomic Blonde. Now, here's a scene that shows just how exhausting fighting really is. Earlier in the movie, we got a taste of just how resilient Charlize Theron's
Я вспомню, как звали актрису, которая конфликтовала с Томом Харди в «Дороге ярости». Шарлиз Терон, спасибо.
Lorraine Broughton could be when she was ambushed by corrupt cops. But it's this stairwell fight that really takes our breath away. And hers. As she looks to protect a defecting Stasi agent from the KGB, Lorraine's extended bout follows her through multiple floors of an apartment building. Gradually and tiresomely, she fends off her attackers, until they're all dead. As impressive as the fight choreography is, what's really astounding is how long the seemingly unbroken shot lasts, as it's followed up with a car chase to boot.
Я так и думал, она что-то там на русском сказала. Снова русские, снова мы.
Number 16, Continuous Staircase Fight, The Protector. If you thought John Wick was enraged when his dog got killed, watch what Tony Jaa does when his elephant gets kidnapped.
Ну, блядь, слона нахуй, можно и ебал. Можно ебал порой в GTA 5 RP.
ช้างเนี่ยเป็นสัตว์คู่บ้านคู่เมืองของคนไทยมานานแล้วนะพวกเราเขานับถือกันเหมือนญาติเหมือนพี่เหมือนน้องเหมือนพ่อเหมือนแม่
Sonic
เป็นเหมือนครอบครัวเดียวกันใครมารังแกกันไม่ได้หรอกนะคนไทยเขาถือ
Before making
Он просто может взять два бивни и хуяриться ими.
it to the restaurant where exotic animal connoisseurs plan to serve his prize pachyderm, Jaa's Kam must make it up several flights of stairs through an endless succession of baddies. With a Steadicam slowly following him all the way up, there's no question that this fight is a single-take marvel that must have taken a lot of work to perfect. But perfect it is, as Jaa sends bodies over railings and through doors and latticework. It just makes an already impressive movie that much better. Just, for the love of God, don't watch the much-maligned US cut of the film.
Хорошо.
Number 15, Yu Xiaolian vs. Green Destiny, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. In a sword fight as high intensity as this, what's more vital? Being the better duelist or wielding the superior weapon?
剑要人用才能活，所以剑法即人法。
The more experienced Yu Xiaolian intends to find out as she engages with Zhen Yu and the legendary sword dubbed Green Destiny. Though Xiaolian holds her own, every weapon of hers eventually breaks at the might of the Green Destiny. Despite this, Xiaolian ultimately holds the winning position with a broken sword. She then yields, and an indignant Zhen gives her a cheap slash, so neither is truly victorious. However, due to the fantastic stunt work executed by the two actresses, we'd say we're the real winners. Number 14, Cave Troll, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the...
Я, блядь, только вчера посмотрел последний обзор ностальгирующих лиц, когда «Властелина колец», ну, на трилогию Джексона. Будет еще «Хоббит».
The Ring. Of all the fights on this list, this one might be the most underrated.
They have a cave troll.
That's probably due to it being lost in an epic trilogy chock full of thrilling clashes. But
Это вторая часть.
Let's appreciate this one for a minute. Trapped in the mines of Moria, the Fellowship is beset upon by a horde of vicious orcs and one very imposing cave troll. A claustrophobic fight breaks out, one where our intrepid heroes prove their mettle and skill. While none of the good guys is killed, the fast-paced editing and threat level had us seriously on edge and gasping in our seats when Frodo is stabbed. This is high fantasy action at its finest.
I think there's more to this, Hobbit, than meets the eye.
Number 13, kitchen scene, The Raid 2. There's something to be said for a fight scene that starts off slow and gradually builds intensity. While Rama goes on to
Я сейчас вспоминаю сцену из второго Человека-муравья, где они на кухне дрались. Правда, блядь, я пошел до второго муравья маленький, когда, блядь, хотя не посмотрел первую часть, потому что у меня был такой момент, что я шел на сиквел, хотя не смотрел первую часть.
Confront the film's main villains afterwards, this bout with a top henchman in an immaculate kitchen sure feels like a finale. Director Gareth Evans had a high bar to clear following up The Raid Redemption, which is essentially one feature-length fight scene. But this entry makes the plot's more protracted nature feel worth the wait. Both actors' physicality is stellar, and the slowly crescendoing score gives the fight scene the epic feel it needs. By the end of it, the previously white floors and walls are splattered red, and our jaws are literally on the floor. Number 12, Maximus vs. Tigress, Gladiator.
Gladiator.
There's a reason this Best Picture winner stirred up such a fervor in the summer of 2000.
We who are about to die, salute you!
While it remains a visually compelling film with breathtaking cinematography, a lot of it had to do with the sword and sandals action scenes. The best of these comes when Russell Crowe's Maximus squares off against undefeated champion Tigress. The odds are stacked against Maximus, who has
На дворе не 20-й.
to fend off a handful of tigers as well. Initially overwhelmed, Maximus buckles down and gets some opportune cuts in, including a decisive sword to Tigress's foot. While the crowd doesn't
кто из них тигрис, блядь?
get the execution they wanted, we think Maximus had it right earlier when he said,
Are you not entertained?
Hey, Joker!
Number 11, Hallway Fight, Old Boy. Here's a fight that's won through sheer stamina and resilience.
어서 가라. 피 많이 흘렸다.
In the thinnest of hallways, Odesu is confronted by a gaggle of goons that seem insurmountable. However, Desu has been waiting too long to give up searching for his captor after 15 years of imprisonment. In one extended shot, Desu is repeatedly sworn.
Мне кажется, так на Западе производит название студии DC. На Западе. На азиатском Западе. DC.
Swarmed and beaten on the ground, only for him to rise again more ferocious than ever. He even gets stabbed in the back and presses on with the knife sticking out. Eventually, every single bad guy is writhing on the floor in pain, too exhausted to continue. We then smile along with Desu as he's greeted with an elevator full of more fodder. Number 10, Rotating Room Fight, Inception.
Because building a dream from your memory is the easiest way to lose your grasp on what's real and what is a dream.
Is that what happened to you?
To simplify a scene in a more...
Он просто давит. Он играет на все... Он хочет, блядь, Оскар. На все Оскары, нахуй. Он играет на все Оскары, блядь.
Complicated movie as much as possible, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Arthur finds him protecting a dream level in between dream levels from the projections within. Due to being in a car chase in the previous level, Arthur's hotel design begins literally turning on itself. Inception could have been one of those movies that relied exclusively on CGI rather than practical effects. Instead, Christopher Nolan opted to literally turn a hallway over repeatedly
А эту сцену, кстати, повторили, ёпта. С Дани Кашиным.
to make the shifts in gravity realistic, which leads to a thrilling and
Построили подобную конструкцию.
wholly unpredictable fight scene. The environment created is just as impressive as the stunt performers. It'll make you dizzy, but it will also knock your socks off.
Socks off.
Did you see that?
Number 9, Restroom Fight, Mission Impossible Fallout. As it's gone
А вот и Том Кукуруз.
on, the Mission Impossible series has somehow topped
И это он, кстати, блядь, делал сам, нахуй.
itself over
Блядь, охуеть, какой профессионал.
and over again, continuing to raise the bar for high-octane stunts. Continuing to raise the bar for high-octane
Левые гондоны, гондолы. Не, ну хорошо написали, хорошо.
stunts.
А то бывает, в зарубежных фильмах пишут, блядь, как-то неправильно.
However, in what could be the finest entry, it's this simple sequence in a nightclub bathroom that really stands out. Here, Ethan Hunt teams up with CIA operative August Walker in tracking down a nuclear weapons buyer known only as John Lark.
Looks like you lost your oxygen.
They confront a man they believe to be Lark, and a knock'em sock'em brawl breaks out. Despite sending the supposed Lark through a mirror and a support beam, they're given more than they can handle, and have to be bailed out by Faust. Also, this is where we get that iconic shot of Henry Cavill pumping his fists. Number 8, Obi-Wan vs. Anakin.
О, да.
Star Wars Episode
Легендарная сцена из фильма, который я не смотрел.
3, Revenge of the Sith. The prequels get a lot of flack, to say the least. But one thing they did give us were amazing lightsaber duels. Hell, the Darth Maul sequence at the end of The Phantom Menace blew all our minds. However, if you want an emotionally charged showdown, you cannot do much better than the finale of Revenge of the Sith. Set on the thematically appropriate lava planet of Mustafar, Obi-Wan and his former apprentice Anakin have a duel for the ages.
Тут будет это... тут еще мемная фраза будет про... Предупреждали, что ты станешь бороться с ситхами.
It's as hot-blooded as the backdrop, and though we knew the outcome, we still held our breath. Star Wars had more thrilling moments ahead, but none quite so tragic.
You were the chosen one!
Предвещали, что ты уничтожишь ситхов.
It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
Number 7, The Bride vs. the Crazy 88s. Kill Bill Volume 1. The incredible fight between the bride and henchgirl Gogo already had us gasping for breath. What follows, however, is an even more mind-blowing sequence pitting our heroine against the entire Crazy 88. If you thought those numbers were skewed unfairly, you'd be right. But the bride absolutely slays. Limbs and heads are chopped off with bloody, reckless abandon. In fact, there's so much red spewing, the fight switches to black and white to avoid an NC-17 rating. Quentin Tarantino is known for his over-the-top violence, and here is where that style arguably became fully realized. There are a ton of astounding fight sequences in this two-parter, so the fact that this one stands out the most is really saying something.
Go home to your mother!
Motherfucker.
Number 6, Jackie Chan vs. Ken Lo, Drunken Master 2. While the martial artist has had a long career of superb stunt work, his specific brand of action comedy is never so dynamically exercised as in the Drunken Master movies. This climactic battle initially sees Chan being utterly manhandled by Ken Lo's character, to the point that he's seared on a bed of hot coals. Just when things are looking grim, Chan makes like Popeye and downs a secret weapon, which for him just happens to be alcohol. Re-energized, Chan flexes his
Он бы еще мог как просто поднести зажигалку и устроить фаталити Бурайчо из Mortal Kombat.
Acrobatic prowess by thoroughly pummeling his opponent in a variety of ways. With physicality like this, it's easy to see why he became such an icon.
Немного брейк-данса. Нижний брейк. Сальтуха назад от Газманова.
Number 5.
О, да, я знал, что здесь будет эта сцена. Я не смотрел этот фильм, но знаю, там охуительная сцена драчки.
Church fight. Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Хрустящая, нет, тут не кранч, тут чардж.
I'm a Catholic whore, currently enjoying Congress out of wedlock with my black Jewish boyfriend who works in a military abortion clinic. So hail Satan, and have a lovely afternoon, madam.
When villain Richmond Valentine activates rage-inducing SIM cards in a hate church, Kingsman agent Harry Hart is caught in one of the most badass battle royales ever put to film. With Leonard Skinner's Freebird playing, and the camera jerkily shifting from one kill to the next, we are instantly sucked into the mayhem. Hart's bullets may eventually run out, but that doesn't stop the mind-controlled Kingsman agent from turning any object into a deadly weapon. The movie was already great, but this scene definitely cemented that fact. Number 4. Bruce Lee vs. Chuck Norris, The Way of the Dragon.
Битва легенд. Обычно я привык видеть тебя с таким пальцем, Чак.
It was the movie martial arts matchup to end all matchups. With the climactic showdown appropriately taking place in the Roman Colosseum, the bare-chested Lee and the decidedly not bare-chested Norris show the utmost respect for one another before the fight. But once the shirts drop, all bets are off. This fight is simple in that it doesn't require fancy camera work and editing to excite, but rather it puts two powerhouse fighters in frame and lets them do the rest. While Norris puts on a good show, Lee ultimately disables his character and kills him when he stubbornly persists. Worthy of the gladiators? We say yes. Also, Kitty! Number 3. Ip Man vs. 10 Black Belts. Ip Man. We move now from Bruce Lee to the master who trained him, or at least an actor portraying him. Donnie Yen takes on the eponymous role in this famous biopic, which is fairly loosely based on real events. Though the movie fabricated some historical details, it led to one of the most entertaining and spectacular demonstrations of skill in a martial arts movie. Incensed over the death of his friend Master Liu, Ip Man charges into General Miura's dojo and demands to fight 10 karate black belts at once. His wish is granted, and the previously phlegmatic Ip Man holds nothing back. Absolutely decimating the forces in his path, he sends a clear message to the general. Do not underestimate us. Number 2. Nightclub Fight. John Wick.
Я же говорил. Не могли бы вы повторить?
Thank you, sir.
The John Wick movies have boasted impressive fight choreography, from the home invasion in the first movie to the escape scene featuring trained dogs in the third. However, what really sold us on Keanu Reeves returning as a bona fide action star was his rampage through a New York nightclub in search of the man responsible for stealing his car and killing his dog. Though most
Мне кажется, Киану Ривз больше бы впрягся за мотоцикл. Он любит мотоциклы.
of the killing is done through gunplay, there's enough well-timed physical combat
У него есть свое огнестрельное оружие.
interspersed throughout for it to qualify for this list. Set to the perfect dubstep song, if ever there were such a thing, the sequence is as impressively staged and pulse-pounding as it gets while still feeling grounded. You get that, Dog Killer John. Before we continue... 1. Subway Fight. The
Драка в закусочной?
Matrix. If there's anything this list shows, it's that Keanu...
Блять, два места, блять, и, сука, самые главные. Они... Киану Ривз крут.
Reeves is the apparent king of movie fight scenes, as he takes the top 2 spots on our list.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
His sparring match with Morpheus earlier on is definitely badass, but we really have to give it to this underground brawl for its elevated stakes and groundbreaking special effects. Neo finds himself at the mercy of Agent Smith in a subway, but ready to accept his destiny as the One, he puts up more of a fight than Smith expected. But ready to accept his destiny as the One, he puts up more of a fight than Smith expected. And boy, is it a sight to behold. The slowed down and sped up visual flares only add to the dynamic nature, creating one epic duel.
It is the sound of your death.
Еще рано говорить так о моей карьере, уебок.
Goodbye, Mr. Anderson. My name is Neo.
Я река.
Cinema has
А точнее... Океан. А, не, река.
over a century's worth of epic
Просто, я думаю, точно река? Да, река. Память мне не изменяет.
showdowns, fist to fist and blade to blade. Let us know your favorite cinematic beatdowns in the comments below.
If this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
Did you enjoy this?
Охуеть, как понравилось. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, жмите колокольчик, чтобы сказать новое видео. Пишите комментарии, ставьте телегу. С вами был Алекс Назаренко. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Всем пока.